Hello, all my he's, she's, gays, and theys out there. This is the Rebel Mind. Welcome. This is where we talk about copywriting and marketing and mindset and entrepreneurship and all just like the awesome stuff. We start a rebellion about coming into our own awesomeness and no longer following the status quo and stuff. And today I have no plan. I just like was feeling in the vibe and I'm just like, you know what? Like let's just talk mindset. Like let's just talk about how to get your brain on track to just feeling your awesomeness. I started a coaching program recently where I'm coaching copywriters or newer copywriters who've been in the business for a minute, people who just want to start copywriting as a side hustle. And I got students so fast. I was so proud. I was so excited about that and stuff. So I started coaching these lovely humans, and I noticed, like, even when I was just talking to people about doing the coaching and, like what their struggles were and stuff, and then doing the coaching on some of on my students and stuff, like with with my students, um, that everyone is struggling with their mindset. And like, of course we are struggling with our mindset. We literally just went through a fucking like it's been a few years. Like let's just say that. It's been a few years. And like it's been so intense and we've had to like push through so much. And on top of like corporate culture conditioning us to like leave ourselves at the door and like leave anything personal behind as you walk through that door, like all of a sudden you're a different person. Like how are we splitting ourselves in two? Like I understand women, neurodivergent people, people who've struggled with their mental health, like we get really good at masking and stuff, but whenever you're starting your own business, there's no need to mask. Like there's no need to push yourself outside of I don't even know, like push yourself to be something different and stuff. Like this is your business. So setting up a structure that's actually going to help nurture you and help you thrive is so important. So in a lot of my coaching calls recently, it's been mostly talking about how we can establish a self-care mindset routine. And this has been the single most important thing, not just in my business, but in my life. As a person with ADHD who has struggled with their mental health for a lot of their life, um, giving myself that permission to uh, to prioritize myself, my care, my mental health is has like revolutionized my life. I was a person who put other people first, just as like a natural caretaker type of person. And I would monitor a lot of people who were struggling. I would try and manage their feelings, try and make sure everyone else was feeling okay and feeling good because a lot of people in my life were struggling. So therefore, I figured that, okay, I can't take care of myself because then I need to take care of everybody else. And then later on I realized like I can't take care of everybody else. I can't be everybody's like surrogate therapist and stuff because we have therapists for that. And I needed to learn how to care for myself, regulate myself, so that way I could show up appropriately for the people who were genuinely needing me. So I could show up for my friends, for my son, for my family, for the people. So I learned that you can't pour from that empty cup. I know it's a cliche line. I know everyone's like rolling their eyes right now or whatever. But it's that thing with the airplane, like put your mask on before you assist others. Because if you pass out, then you're going to be no good to anybody else, right? So, and then on top of that, to add a layer on top of that, you have your business. You are your business. If you are an entrepreneur, if you're a solopreneur, a freelancer, something like that, your business is an extension of yourself. So if yourself is like barely hanging on and crumbling, that's what your business is going to be like too. Your business is going to be like barely hanging on and crumbling. If your brain is utter chaos all of the time, then your business might feel like utter chaos most of the time. You know what I mean? So learning how to do that. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to set up a self-care routine? First off, write a list of 10 things that make you feel full, filled up, energized, in the vibe, in the flow. What are those things that you just like, okay, that's it. I'm having a day. This is what I need. And no, we're not using food. We, we're, unless it's like some nutrition, taking care of yourself through nutrition or whatever, like we are leaning into the things that can genuinely soothe you, genuinely make you feel good and in the flow and connected with yourself and grounded and things like that. Here are some examples. I meditate every day, and my meditation routine can vary. It can be literally me focusing on my breath. It can be focusing on affirmations or mantras. It can be focusing on a manifestation. I'm following some sort of visualization to see somewhere I want to go or see an experience that I want to have. And it can just be listening to music, just trying to keep my shit together, So meditation in some way, shape, or form is vital for my self-care. Affirmations, another thing, vital for my self-care, because when you've spent a lot of your life trapped in negative thought patterns, those things become almost like your brain's natural instinct. You become they're like habitual thoughts, and you have to make an intention and redirect those thoughts into a place that you want to be in. You want your brain to be better, so you need to direct it in a better position. So if you're sitting here thinking like, my business is not going anywhere, like I don't know who I am to be like thinking I can do this business or do this thing and stuff like that, that needs to be redirected. Like I'm on a path of learning and growing, and I am going to accomplish, or find something that vibes with you. Some affirmations that I personally use, I personally love. Recently, one that has been amazing has been, I am grounded in love and gratitude for the life I choose. Because I am choosing a different life than I have experienced in the past. I am choosing to live a life of traveling the world, of having my own business, and of starting a thought leadership initiative to help change the world. I am choosing to follow something that I feel is my purpose on this planet. And in order to live that life, I have to choose that life. So I need to ground myself in positive vibrations of love and gratitude in order to choose that life, because I don't want to get stuck in this negative thought pattern that I was stuck in for a lot of my life. Easy ways to like construct an affirmation. Look at your limiting beliefs. What's a phrase that repeats in your head a lot? Now we're going to rephrase that into the opposite, or maybe something that just sometimes jumping to the opposite can feel a little bit more like you're lying to yourself if you've had like a really long time, if you're really new into affirmations and stuff. Find an alternative that is not negatively driven into that same old comfortable space, but is redirecting you towards a more positive direction. But just to make it easy, like just flip it and put it in the present tense. So one of my limiting beliefs, or like those repeat negative thoughts that happen, is always too much and never enough. That's how I have felt most of my life. I have a very big, loud, passionate personality, so I always feel like I'm just too much for people, but at the same time, never good enough. So in order to change that belief, I would take the always too much, never enough, and turn it into I am a passionate, driven person who is innately good enough. Like by definition, by birth, my birthright is to be good enough. And so it's not like I'm lying to myself, right? I'm not sitting here saying that I'm better than everybody else, right? I am just saying that baseline, I am good enough, and that I'm embracing this bigger personality that I've been, I don't know, trained or conditioned or just had negative thoughts to think that that's just too big, that my personality is just too big, you know? Um, Instead of that, we're going into I am passionate and I am driven. Those traits could be too big for other people. But for me, these are part of my character. And putting it in just putting it in a better light. Um so it's just something simple like that. Another thing, green time has been really studied for calming down your nervous system and just like making you feel good. So like go have lunch under a tree. Just do something simple. Go take a walk outside. Um Anything along those lines, just spend a little time in nature when you're just like really in your thoughts and stuff like that, just to ground yourself down. Another thing I do tarot cards every day. I love tarot cards. I feel like they help me tap into my heart, my intuition. They're thought provoking for me. Sometimes something will come up and I'll just like, oh, you know what? I haven't even thought about it like that. Maybe I need to reevaluate this part of my life, or reevaluate these patterns, or something like that. So that's just something that I really enjoy. So something that you really enjoy, maybe something that other people don't understand or other people wouldn't consider even being a self-care practice. What is that for you? Spending time with your fur babies, just a little fur baby cuddle can do wonders. Dance in your kitchen, playing music while you're cooking. Play some music that you just like really vibe with and stuff. Doing things to interrupt any sort of like negative thought patterns is such a good self-care thing. And now we're not talking about like suppressing emotions when you're going through shit, like you do have to feel those emotions because those emotions are just going to come bubbling back up to the surface if you don't acknowledge them. So we're not talking toxic we're not talking toxic positivity right now. That's not where we're going. We're interrupting negative thought patterns that occur like habitually that are not serving us. We're not suppressing anything. You have something happen in your life that's hard. You have a breakup, you have a death in your family, you have like a struggle that you're going through. You have like just a day you need mental health. Like taking a day to wallow in self-pity because something didn't work out is totally okay. That's self-care, because what are you doing there? You are finally like letting those feelings out. You're feeling your feelings. That is self-care. Feeling your feelings is self-care. What we're talking about with affirmations is not toxic positivity. It's literally just redirecting those negative habitual thoughts, because we can get really trapped up in our own brains and stuff like that. And to just like rephrase and redirect, we're adjusting the what's the thing on the boats, mass the we're just adjusting the direction we're going on our boat and stuff like that, just to follow our north star instead of not the north star. I told you there's no plan today, it's just chaos, but it's fine. um so one other thing that I feel like is so impactful in my mental health and in my personal growth and in my self-care routine is I try every single day to read at least 5 pages of some sort of growth book. I like growth book because sometimes I'm reading a book on writing. Sometimes I'm reading something that's like a fiction book that I'm like low key studying for my own fiction book that I want to write. And then sometimes it's a self help book, sometimes it's a psychology book, sometimes it's a finance book, things like that, like some sort of growth book. something that helps me expand my mind, expand my patterns and habits and things like that. My current read is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I make 5 pages as like my like goal, just because it's an easy goal to just 5 pages, takes just a little bit of time and stuff. It's easy to do when you're tired to just read 5 pages. This book starts off in quantum physics. Uh, I've always wanted to learn more about quantum physics because I find it fascinating and so abstract and different and stuff. But bitch, this is like, and he's like making it easy to swallow. Like, wow, like quantum physics is crazy. But I'm like reading this book and my mind is just absolutely blown by like page 3. I'm like, so, highly recommend that. I'm not even done with it yet. I'm literally on chapter 2. But I am loving that book so far. But just having a book that you're reading just to like you're struggling with money. Like say you're struggling with your money mindset and you're just like, I'm just no good with money. I don't know how I'm ever going to make this stuff happen because I'm no good with money. Stuff like that. Go read yourself some Jensen Chero. You're a Badass at Making Money. My favorite book. Super easy read, easy to digest, fun, funny, great vibes all throughout, and has some amazing information to help you reframe your money mindset. Like find a book that's gonna help you grow in a part of your life that maybe you're struggling with, because maybe you're struggling with like how to even like structure your business, or like a friend of mine I know is asking like, how do you combine purpose and profit, and finding something that's going to help you embrace your life purpose and put it in a package that's still going to like support you financially. Like you're still going to be bringing in profits and stuff like that, which is totally possible. And also a video that I plan on doing eventually when I can like formulate a thought. Today is just like chaos and we're just rolling with it today because that's what you have to do. You just have to roll with it sometimes. What are some things that are self-care things for you? I'm just like literally rambling on through this video. So, what are some what are some ramblings? This might not even get edited. I don't even know. But what's some self-care for you? So, just give me some things that I didn't mention that are self-care practices, make you feel full and filled up and in the flow and vibing, that you can do. Just take a snippet of your time that's not like, okay, let me distract myself, or not a external soothing like a glass of wine, or like let me eat a cake, or something like that, something that genuinely changes your energy. So give me some of those. What is that? And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and send to a fellow rebel, and let's start a revolution.